Hey Keshav, I thought I'll try to see using Python what your file looks like. Okay, so I've done a couple of things. I've taken your Google Drive file, thank you for that, and I've saved it as a CSV file. I also started Jupyter and then I've opened a Python 3, uh, just an empty notebook. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to import some libraries. And I'll show your dad how to get this set up so that you can use all these same libraries that I'm using. So when you import a library, all the library functions become available to us. So one of them is called PD, is the short form for pandas, read CSV. Then I've stored your file in a location called data, and let's see, where did I put it? I've called it, I think you called it NFL, there. NFL 2018 NFL stats. That's the name of your file. Okay. So I just try to read it. And the good news is that at least it read it. So I'm happy. Doesn't look bad actually. Good job. So you've created at least 100 rows, exactly 101 rows. Um, but I'm already noticing a few things. I'm seeing that you have a few blank. Okay. NaN stands for not a number. So all the blank rows are not very useful. Okay. So one thing you got to get used to is that in your data file there should be no blank, no empty rows. We can get rid of that. Don't worry. Okay. I like your, let's see all your columns. They're all looking good. Very nice. Okay. So let's save it. I'm going to save it to a file called a variable called data frame. Okay. So I have a data frame in which I have it. So if I want to see just the first few rows, I can say show me the head and it will show me the first 5 rows. There are 30 columns, which is good because you've done a lot of work. Let me see if I try this. I can say, hey, I don't want all these NA business. Can you drop them? And you can see that row number 2, 0, 1, 2 got dropped, 3, 4, 5 got dropped. But it has taken care of all this for us. So that's very good. Okay. So now I managed to get rid of all the rows. So it's not a big deal. You can keep the empty rows we want. With one command we got rid of it. And then I'm going to say reset index. So what is index? Index is just a row number. You see 0, 1, I would like to have this as 2, but it became 3. So I'm just saying reset the whole thing. And so when I do that, you can see that now the old index is here and the new index is 0, 1, 2. Okay, so I forgot to say that I think I should have said don't keep the old index. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Maybe I should say drop equals true. There. So the old index is gone. Just the new index looks good. I like it, Keshav. I like it so far. Very good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to overwrite it. Let's call this df2 if you like here. df2 is your new data frame. How many rows does it have? How many columns does it have? You can ask for it by saying, hey, show me the shape. You have 67 rows and 30 columns. Okay. So if I want, I can ask for, hey, what are all my columns? So Keshav has created a game ID and a home away, blah, 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 all of that. Tackles for loss, final score, right? It ends in final score. Very nice. So if I wanted to see any one column, I have to put it within square brackets and I can say, hey, show me the final score. So it's printing just the final scores. Oh, it still has NaN, so I should be using df2, not df. I see what you've done. You put the overtime. Ideally, you should make another column in which you should say whether overtime happened or not. Okay, we can do it too. So Keshav, don't worry, this entire notebook I will give it to you guys, which reminds me I should probably save it, give it a better name. Let's rename the notebook. Let's call it NFL data cleanup or analysis 1. Okay. So I told you that we can get rid of the overtime, but before that, there are some nice things we can do. See, we can take your thing and say that, hey, does this string, does it contain overtime? Okay, so I'm asking, go to this particular column, make it into a string and contains. Does it contain the phrase overtime? Yes or no, true or false? See, it's giving a lot of true and false. In Python or in all programming languages, false is the same as saying 0 and true is 1, right? You remember computers have 0, 1. So if you multiply 0 by 1, it will become a 0. And a 1 multiplied by 1 is a 1. So I could do that. You see, I now have converted them to zeros and ones. I can create a new variable now. I'm saying overtime, did overtime happen or not, is stored in this function. Okay, so now if I print my data frame, and if you go to the last, see there's a nice column there and there'll be a few overtime games. Wherever you see OT, there is an overtime. Now that we have done that, we need to do one more thing. We need to get rid of these overtime function that you added. Okay, so I go to your column df2 of final score. I can say make it a string and replace wherever you have an OT. Okay, replaces with a null, say with empty, and these are called regex equal to true. I think you don't need to say this, but it's safer. Now because you have a bracket, we got to tell Python that, hey, Keshav has added these brackets. Okay, so some details here that we have to do that, and now you can see that all the columns got replaced. All of your OT business has gone. Okay, so Control C. So I'm going to rename I'm going to overwrite what you called. I'm going to get rid of this OT and I'm going to rename it. Okay, so now if I say show me final score as well as overtime, it's in df2. There it is. So this final score here. Okay, here and there were a couple of overtime games there. Oh, but there's still overtime is still here. It didn't go. I wonder why. You must have put spaces. Let me quickly take a look at it. I will pause the video and fix it just to save you some time. Okay, I'm back. I had to fix a few small things, but they're not important. Let's try to do some plotting. Okay, we've not plotted anything. We've been messing around with data for quite some time. So we have 68. That means we have 34 games, 2 rows each. Here are all the final scores. I made them into integers so that we can actually plot them. Okay, that's very good. But now, one thing is that there are some home games and some away games, right? So let's say that I want only, you have created a nice column called, I think it's called home away or something like that. Yeah. So I can take this column and say, hey, if it is equal to away, is it equal to away or not? And it will again tell me true or false. So these are all my away rows, right? All my away rows are, and therefore I can also create something called my home rows. All my home rows are where it is not equal to away, or I could also have done where equal to. So now I have a bunch of, so I can take my data frame and say, please show me only the away rows. And there it is. 34 games here, they are all away. And I can also do show me just the home rows, right? So we want to take the final score. So I can say, what are my home game final score? Well, it's right here. Here are my 34 games that have the home score. Very good. So maybe I want to, what do I want to do? I want to do plotting, right? So I'm going to import a library called Seaborn. Okay, so this is just some convention. Then I'm going to create SNS is my library. I want to create a scatter plot of, what is my x-axis? X is going to be all my home scores. Maybe I want to take the values, and then I want to say, let me copy this over. I'm going to say that my y is equal to all my away rows. Finally I got something good. So here are all your home scores. Okay, in general I expect that the home score should be higher than the away team. This is what the away team has scored, and this is what the home team has scored. For example, in this game, the home team scored 34, and these guys, poor guys, scored only 3.0 maybe or something. They got shut out or whatever. It was a very bad game. Okay, so generally if you draw a diagonal here, everything in this area is your home team one, and everything here is away team one. When I look at it, it looks actually to me like more away teams are winning than home teams. This is a bit surprising. Keshav, I'm also very surprised at look how many games are so close, right? They're ending right on this line. This 45-degree line is where the score is exactly tied. Okay, we can try many more things, many more plotting things, but I'm going to stop here. I will let me save this so that I share this notebook with you. What I think this is, this cannot scale, so I will show you hopefully in a next video or some other time. Let's see how to import the data using Python, and then maybe you can also try plotting. Okay, I will make life a little easier for you as we go forward, but I just wanted to show you what I have until now. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.